excludes the invited teams. Now, in the group stage, CDEC were able to take one game off of Na'Vi, and that's what allows them to move on forward, but they've still got to at least take down one opponent, round one, in order to make it into the money for this tournament, and unfortunately, that's the big dogs here. That's going to be VG Gaming, who are looking so strong right now. Thanks once again for tuning in. Morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you happen to be. I'm over on the eastern United States, so it's going to be a late one for me, but it's going to be some amazing Chinese Dota, so hopefully you guys will stay tuned. But thanks again for tuning in. I myself am Blaze, and I'm going to be joined remotely by Rio Boras. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Blaze? How's it going, man? And this is going to be an interesting one, as you've been talking about VG picking CDEC first, picking him as like prime rib here, man, gonna feast on them. I don't know how CDEC are gonna really come back and show how really well prepared they are, because as you said, they went 1-3, and it is a VG lineup that is very scary, and they've been doing this the whole tournament too, running Undying and Spirit Breaker in the off lane, and nobody's stopped them. They're completely, as you said, they're 4-0 here, and I don't know if CDEC can take it to them, but they have great heroes to combat, you know, this aggression. Gyro's great against them, and Queen of Pain. These are some great laners, great early game aggression, so we'll see.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Shiki has shown that he's a very experienced Queen of Pain player. Any kind of finesse hero is good for him to execute on in the mid lane. It'll at least give him an advantage over Super there. When you consider the fact that the Viper is already banned out, Super might be forced into kind of like a melee durable core that can kind of push early. A Dragon Knight is what comes to mind there, but we've seen some variety from him. So I think that there's some potential for Queen of Pain to at least find some dominance at that in the laning stage in mid. But as you mentioned, if they're able to put that dual lane up top, VG Gaming are going to start rolling over multiple lanes here. Spirit Breaker Undying, very common combo to bully out certain cores, but luckily they did pick up Gyrocopter. Aggressive most likely going to be running down the safe lane as their carry, and he is actually really good at dealing with Tombstone, because although he doesn't individually kill the Tombstone very quickly, the Flak Cannon makes it so that while he's killing off the Tombstone, he's also killing off each wave of zombies, so it's not going to be as difficult to deal with, and they should be able to manage all right here as they build up their supports. But it is probably going to be a pretty dedicated supports. While the Spirit Breaker has the opportunity to roam, the Ancient Apparition is going to be kind of forced into pulling and babysitting for that safe lane.
Yeah, this AA pickup here is amazing. I can't believe VG didn't ban it. This is how you combat all this aggression that wants to be applied. You pick up somebody who can stand against these dual lanes or tri lanes and really punish them. With the Chilling Touch, now they're able to couple that along with the Gyro's Flak that you're saying it deals really well with the Tombstone. With the Rocket Barrage, they have so much burst damage. Now all they need is really a reliable lockdown, and it'll probably be Rubik, I want to say, for CDEC, but here VG, they need to be thinking, all right, well, do we want to run an aggressive against AA, or do we want to just stick to our dual lanes? And we still have to deal with this Queen of Pain, because Queen of Pain's an amazing laner in herself, so what are they going to pick against that? They're on the Radiant side. They can pick Shadow Fiend here, but we'll see what they want to do.
Yeah, Super Shadow Fiend is definitely a good option here. Usually if they want that, they pick it up a little earlier, but since the Undying Spirit Breaker combo is so darn juicy, they do reserve that pick and leave it a little bit flexible. Fenrir's pickup here is going to be the Skywrath Mage, so while the Spirit Breaker is roaming and charging and looking for blood, Skywrath probably just wants to hit his level 6. That's the time where he has the most potential. Of course, if you want to go for one smoke play in the early game against the Queen of Pain, you do have some decent kill potential there with the silence and obviously the concussive shot. It just depends on what Super is going to be playing. So not really a push oriented lineup, but still one that likes to fight early here. VG Gaming have no real push heroes, but they have a lot of heroes that have a lot of presence in the early game. Do you think their next two cores are going to exemplify the push, or are they just going to be overall looking to dominate the map through ganking and killing potential, like with a lifestealer?
It kind of depends on what CDEC picks here. I don't think they're going to pick like a Darkseer. They can always pick maybe a Broodmother, then VG has to like pick around those heroes. You don't really want to pick melees against the Darkseer, because then you're just going to take that Ion Harass. But since they do have the Skywrath now, they can zone out the bottom lane relatively easily now, unless it's a Broodmother. Then life becomes hell. And so, yeah, CDEC, it's kind of like wishing they might have had the last pick here. Instead, they're going to have the second And unfortunately, they're like, all right, so should we get our support now? What should we do? Because, I mean, Queen of Pain's still going to the off lane, but I don't know. I think Queen of Pain should still mid. They should pick up a good support hero here. I think Earthshaker's not too bad. If you get a Fizzer block onto the Undying, and you can always block the charges from coming in as well, so that's a good hero. Rubik Telekinesis. There's not too many other things that are coming to mind. What do you think?
I actually really like the idea of the Broodmother pick, to be honest with you. We're going to see Rubik for now, and obviously the strength of that pickup is the instant stun against the Spirit Breaker, the fact that you're able to stop the Charge of Darkness with a simple lift, and of course, if you want to put an earlier point in Cold Feet, then you can use the Telekinesis and pull them back into the Rocket Barrage, into the Cold Feet, bring a lot of pain. So overall, I like the idea of the Rubik, but the Brood actually just sounded really strong, to be honest with you. XZ has run it 10 times in total, he's 50-50 on it, and the last time he ran it was 8 days ago, so he's pretty well practiced on the hero, and I think that it would have been a very nice way to force pressure down the bottom lane. It's not good against the Undying in the sense that Soul Rip is very powerful when there's that many creeps online, and it might encourage the Undying to go for more into Soul Rip, but as you can see, it's something to be feared nevertheless. They ban out the Broodmother after they pick up the Ember Spirit, and I think that would have been a huge fourth pick for them. They could have still had the option of Rubik or Lion as far as one of those instant stunning supports on the safe lane, and that Brood would have done amazing work. But they will pick up the Rubik, try to focus on that safe lane, and now XZ's options are slightly more limited.
Yeah, they banned out the Bounty, they banned out the Clockwork, they banned out the Broodmother, and there's not too many things left. You got Darkseer, maybe a potential Sand King. They're really locking a lot of lockdown and initiation right now. So I think Sand King or Earthshaker offlane is probably their best bet now. Because, this hero, I forgot this hero even existed. This is pretty good.
This is a very, like, EG draft right here. Like, it's all about that mid-game team fight presence. You get one good chrono, and suddenly you set up so much. You've got the Ice Blast to guarantee that people are going to be dropping quickly, shattering. You've got the Sonic Wave across hopefully the entire Chronosphere that's going to be able to put out a huge amount of damage. And of course Gyrocopter, as long as he's in range of one target, he's in range of all of them, and he's going to be able to put out a lot with the Call Down and the Flak. So overall, I really like this pickup here. Not going to be insanely good in the lane. In fact, I think he's going to get bullied pretty hard by the Skywrath early on. But as long as he makes sure that his ultimate counts in the mid game, I still think he has some real potential, unless Fenrir is just a god when it comes down to those silence reactions.
Yeah, I think it's the best hero overall to pick here for the Ember Spirit, right? The only lockdown they have for him is the Queen of Pain getting an Orchid or Rubik Telekinesis, and that's so unreliable. And now they have something to catch him in the ultimate. Also, I think this has to be an Ags game with Faceless Void. I think he needs to go from Mask of Madness into Ags just to lower down the cooldown. You have Ember Spirit, Undying, Spirit Breaker. You have all these heroes that are trying to fight early on, and if you have that ultimate up all the time, I feel like are just going to keep running at you. Now that you have the Juggernaut online here with Healing Ward, it's going to be tough. They have a lot of sustain now because of the Undying. He's going to be always healing up, as you've been saying. He's probably going to get a fast mechanism depending on how well he does. I mean, it's Ice, Ice, Ice. He always has like a 10-minute mech when I see him play. So
yeah, I think that there's still some real potential here for CDEC, but obviously the early game tempo and the late game carry potential seems to be on the side of Vici. If they just spread the map and split push really well, then I think they're going to be able to thrive in this kind of a game. It just really comes down to how they control the tempo of it and how successful that offlane really is. Because if you shut down the Gyrocopter, Rihanna Faceless Void's going to have a bad time, and the Queen of Pain just can't carry this game on her own shoulders. If she's the only one with support nothing as well, then there's just too many problems for the side of CDEC. But we're going to be going into the game here. A quick pause to start things off. But yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I feel like the early game and the late game are Vici's strength. CDEC have a chance to bring it back, though, in that mid game, and it just comes down to execution.
Yeah, I think execution more so, and how well the chronos are, because that is... he has to be your main source of all the lockdown, right? So Void has the biggest role in this game for CDEC, whereas VG, they can just, they can make a lot more mistakes here now. Just keep running at them. Make sure we didn't even talk about the AA really canceling out the Undying heals yet. So if they can get that online, get those good AA blasts, stopping the Undying from healing all the time, stopping the healing ward as well, this could be really good for CDEC in team fights too.
Most definitely. So we'll see things starting off here just with XZ making his way down bottom, looking for probably a pretty passive ward here. Most commonly, if you don't have boots, you don't have an advantage, you place it in a more reserved position up there. But he actually is going to go for a play and try to place it to block off the camp. And I'm looking at Radiant Vision. How barely misses him. They have yet to see him, but now his position is revealed, and they'll have an inkling about that magic bush ward. They know that he was very deep into that camp. So XZ, although he'll be fine in his retreat, should be dewarded pretty early on here from the side of VG Gaming. In the meantime, a couple of arcane bolts come his way, and yeah, he's gonna have to be chewing on those tangos pretty early on here.
They just smoked.
Yeah, they're gonna try to cover this rune in a very interesting manner, and if they found a jump, that'd be great, but honestly, it's just not happening, and I don't know.
They have a high ground ward of that smoke being shown too, so it's just like, let me just walk up to it and just cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the idea is that Spirit Breaker, if he tries to go for like a rune play, seeing the bounty rune just kind of sitting there, then he doesn't have really anything to charge to. There are no creeps on the map, so that defensive maneuver really isn't an option. But unfortunately, that little play doesn't help them at all, and yeah, 100 gold and a cooldown down the drain. So we'll just look at pretty standard lanes here. Super versus Shiki, Ember versus Queen of Pain. Pretty much, Ember Spirit gets a bit of a leg up when he hits level 3, but talk to me about this early point in Sleight of Fist. Is there any Shadow Strike dodging going to be going on?
Yeah,
here?
He's trying to. That's why I think they've played this matchup too before, because he's realizing it too, canceling out the. He's not really using it. There it is. Oh, it didn't do it though.
So it'll be pretty interesting to see how that progresses. But up top, we're going to be seeing just Ice and FY getting involved here. Quick pause coming out, but it's 2 versus 3, but with hitting double decays every once in a while, Ice should be able to make the supports very easy kills once the Spirit Breaker hits level 2. It all comes down to the telekinesis preventing that Charge of Darkness. Otherwise, there could be some first blood spilled by FY pretty easily here, I think.
Yeah, they really need to get Flat Cannon online for aggressive here, and really put the pressure onto them, have that Flat Cannon plus that Chilling Touch coming out is going to be really helpful. But this decays, man, as you're saying, it's just so scary. He's got 900 HP almost on Ice. This is scary territory right now.
Yeah. Now, the Spirit Breaker has less experience here, and it's not because of a bounty rune, so FY was out of lane a little bit, and that, I think, hurts their chances here. They have to wait for the next wave to come through and FY to get level 2. There's no way they go in without the Charge of Darkness, so they're going to wait a little bit more. Now, FY's in a good position. He just hit level 2, but they think they want one more set of decays before they try to make a play. In the meantime, Faceless Void, he's had a pretty hard time down bottom, eating a lot of Arcane Bolts, already 4 tangos down, and just level 2.5 right now. So, while the offlane is really easy for the duo here, it's actually quite difficult for the Faceless Void bottom.
Yeah, then we're going to have a DC out here. Notice that Faceless did go for the value point in the backtrack. Maybe he'll get some lucky backtracks, help out against the Skywrath here, and he will be getting the rune bottom here, as well as the rune top will be going for Spirit Breaker. And who is he? He's charging somebody.
Yeah,
so
he's charging Queen of Pain, but the Dire Observer ward saw his rotation, so even with or without the pause, it shouldn't be an issue for Shiki just to fall back here. Queen of Pain is actually one of the better heroes to actually just simply blink back to tower and blink behind tower whenever that charge comes through. She's very difficult to pin down without the Searing Chains. They do have 2 points in it though, so maybe Super could still try to set this up. If the timing is wrong for Shiki, where he hesitates on the blink, says, oh, I can go for this last creep here to take out one more creep and then blink back, then he could be heavily punished by that duo.
Yep. And well, I wonder what the problem is. Should be fixed hopefully shortly here. I kind of agree with you in the sense where VG has kind of the better late game with Jug plus Ember. As long as Void doesn't catch people and, 2-3 man Chronos, the cores, and maybe the Ice Blast. But I mean, you could say at the same time, right, that CDEC have a Chronosphere, a Gyrocopter with Flak, Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave, AA with Blast. They have so much AoE from CDEC. It's just, yeah, can they survive this early game is what we're thinking about right now.
So we're going to see them ready to go. FY's back in the game here. He will go ahead and just cancel the charge, grab himself a double damage rune, and make his way up back towards this top lane, where they're already pushed under tower, where the Gyrocopter isn't really the best at farming. If you look at his starting items, the Gyrocopter right now didn't go for anything in terms of last hitting potential. 3 branches is almost nothing here, and until he finishes at least the Basilius, it's actually quite difficult to last hit under tower. So you're going to see him missing quite a few. He's actually tied with Ice 7-1.
Yeah, I just saw a dodge of the Shadow Strike mid lane. The bad thing is that Sleight of Fist is a 30-second cooldown at level 1, so you can only dodge it so many times before you will get hit. But he still almost got his bottle for super. It's not too bad. He's 8-1, and he's doing really good. Normally, Ember Spirits can get crushed in this lane.
Yeah, what do you think about the fact that he won't have much in terms of Flame Guard pretty early on here? I mean, maybe picks up a second point in it at level 5 and then pursues it from there. But right now, he's just going to go ahead for the Searing Chains play against Shiki, who's got the bottle, he's got the restoration, and he's going to be able to go for one more quick skirmish before the kicks in for Ember.
That's a triple decay.
Triple decay, really big. Undying will survive. He's got magic stick stacks as well, but FY is a little bit vulnerable and is going to have to fall back under the tombstone. So, yeah, kind of interesting back and forth here. There's always going to be danger for these supports, but as it stands, as long as Vici kind of temper the aggression, they should still be able to outlast them when the Undying starts skilling the Soul Rip, probably at level 4.
Yeah, the Soul Rip is a huge change in these team fights, and I think they're doing relatively well for themselves. Gyro still has the leading CS. They're doing nice for CDEC. No first blood given from them. Queen of Pain's doing all right mid lane. Super's just playing it extraordinarily well, where he's only down for like 6 CS, but it's still, in this matchup, he can get down by 10 or 15 by this time. So he's doing really well. And bottom lane, now they're going to be picking up a haste rune on Quap, and he's going to be using it. Fenrir.
Yeah, gonna be jumping here, taking a lot of damage, and very quickly will fall. Shiki picking up the first blood. Lucky haste rune, lack of wards, but now the tombstone will go down, and Undying will survive with the magic stick. Oh, what a survival. Now will Soul Rip FY, and they're still fighting under the tombstone here. Flak was already expended, but they will be able to finish the tombstone itself. Garter picking up that bonus 100. So not only do they succeed in pushing both of their opponents back, they are also going to take down the tombstone for plus 100. So overall, a win across the board for CDEC. They claim first blood, and they actually force Vici back on the top lane.
Oh, mid lane. They're going to be going in silence on the Queen of Pain's going to be right click, but Super has no mana, so he can't do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, he has the bottle now, but it's just, unfortunately, didn't have enough for the follow-up there. And yeah, maybe if you have like a 2-0-3 build, you can maybe get a little bit more damage there and actually finish off the Queen of Pain with the magic damage amplification. But as it is, they did the best that they could. I mean, the Ember wouldn't be nearly as well-suited in the lane as he is right now if not for this skill build. So it allows the Ember Spirit to get some last hits, and the Queen of Pain is forced back. It just means they won't get a kill on the board just yet.
Yeah, and they had that ward scouting out that charge top lane, so Gyro just immediately kind of backs off into tower range. And I'm going to fault CDEC for one thing this game that I think they're not doing correctly. They have 0 magic sticks in the top lane against an Undying and a Spirit Breaker. I mean, Spirit Breaker's charge, sure, you won't be getting the magic wand charges for that, but Decay constantly being spammed on you, Tombstone, and now it's Soul Rip line, that's 3 spells. You have to have magic wands in this lane up here.
I think that's a very valid point. The Magic Stick, very powerful and going to be a must-have for both the Rubik and the AA in the next few minutes. But I actually like the fact that they both have boots. That's one thing that you don't always get. And getting these boots so early out here on these two heroes allows them to kind of stealth split the Decay a little bit better. Maybe find a kill if they could just get the Telekinesis, but boots match for boots. The Undying just has a little bit too much movement speed, will get out of that tough spot. So in the end, it looks like they just want to be the aggressors. Now they have Magic Stick on the Rubik, soon to probably pick it up on the AA, but I think it was just the prioritization of mobility that allows them to disengage from charge and such.
AA got his boots about like a minute and a half ago. Rubik had it before, because you really need to have the movement speed on to the Rubik. I agree 100%, because if you don't have the movement speed, you can't telekinesis somebody if they're running away, and it's really hard to track down people, as that's your only stun right now in the game.
So we actually see that XZ is almost to level 6 here. He's actually doing really well for himself. He's pretty much right there in between the Undying and the Spirit Breaker as far as how much experience he's gotten. And yeah, that's not too shabby at all. The Chronosphere could come out pretty much at any time in this game now. What do you think is going to be the catalyst for action? Do they just need the Sonic Wave, or do they need either a Call Down or an Ice Blast on top of that?
For sure they're going to need it, because that's all he is right now. He's locked down, so you have to couple it up. He needs to go somewhere else. I'm curious to see where he goes, but...
But do they have to wait for the Gyrocopter or the A to hit 6, or could they just rotate the Queen of Pain with it and make it a Void +1?
Void and Queen of Pain, and then it depends on the target, right? Juggernaut's really... He's getting up there. He's got 800 HP now. You need more than just the Queen of Pain. You would need Queen of Pain plus Rubik, probably. Or the Gyro Call Down, as you're saying. So you need 3 heroes to take down the Juggernaut and probably the Ember Spirit right now.
Yep. So we'll see right now how farming up a Storm. 51 last hits, 29 denies. But in spite of that, Faceless Void does have his level 6. Radiant will be able to scout that out in just a moment here, but almost unveiling it. Oh man, that would have been a nice opportunity. The Flame Guard wasn't active just yet, but it's likely that Super would have gotten it off just before the Chronosphere stunned him. So in that, it's very difficult for the physical and pure damage to be enough to bring him down. And like you said, it just depends on the target. If that's a Skywrath wandering into the river, he's probably dead. He probably doesn't get the silence before the chrono, and that is a nice second kill for CDEC.
He'll just probably time walk too, and just, you know, you had the blink from the Quap too, and you probably didn't even need to waste the chrono. And the thing is, he could have made some cute plays there too. He could have faked the chrono, make him use his Ember Spirit back, but he didn't do that. It's just maybe not thinking of it at times. Like, oh, they might be smoked or something. Might be Spirit Breaker charged too, because
it's also I think they had pretty much sight of each other at about the same time. Like, there's no wards in that area, so
it turned daytime just at that time. Pretty good.
That's the fun part about those rune engagements, is half the time it is switching the night to day or vice versa. We have a smoke play up top, though. They're going to go for this chains on the Sleight of Fist, and they do connect. Super managing it perfectly, but now has to go deep under the tower to break the cold feet. Nice silence on Ashiki, but a lift coming in from Q, trying to bring Fenrir under tower. Unfortunately, the tower won't comply, and the Sonic Wave is a complete whiff now under the zombies. Garter is going to be going down. Shiki's still being charged, and it looks like it's going to be a successful one as the Spirit Breaker charges right past the Void and onto the Queen of Pain. But now they need one more Lucky Bash. They do get it, but it pushes them out of the decay, and XZ comes back in with the Chronosphere. There's no Sonic Wave to follow. There's no Call Down either. He's just going to try to flak it, to barrage it, but it's not going to be enough. He'll be soul ripped. He'll be killed off in an Omni Slash to guarantee a kill. Now they'll halt the aggression, though. They think about the charge with that healing ward, but instead fall back and look back towards the tower. They actually pinged out Q, hiding out in the tree line, and it looks like they'll find him here. Yes, they get the decay. They know where he's at, and they will burn him down with the Undying finding another kill. So 2-0 and 3 for Ice Ice Ice. 5-1 is VG Game's kill score. Just doing so much work out the gate with their first 5-man movement.
Yeah, not having Call Down cost them that team fight heavily.
Oh, and the Sonic Wave. You can't count that out either.
I mean, but it's still, you plan to dive that far knowing that the Sonic Wave is on cooldown too. Like, but you can't anticipate that the Gyro's still not gonna be level 6 at 10 minutes in the game. This is just crazy from aggressive. They've been kind of putting the pressure to him. He's 0-2 now. This is not looking good for CDEC. They whiffed all of their ultis on the first attempt, and they're all about surviving the early game, and they're not surviving yet.
Oh, some big damage coming into Ice 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 Low. He pops pretty much everything he has. He will look for the TP if he gets a 2-man decay here, but I still don't know if it's going to be enough. He's completely locked in, and he's just going to try to set up a charge play. Shiki going to blink away, and XZ will not make the play.
Well, he could have went the drive-by charge.
Yeah, he's actually going all the way back to the fountain here, but he's going to have to cancel it very shortly. Now FY is in a weird spot. Zombies just making their way across the map here, trying to pursue a target that's already gone. But yeah, it's going to be a nice kill onto Ice Ice Ice, one that you usually don't get to take advantage of, but they pursue him, they get aggressive with the Queen of Pain, and that's what you need to do there. But now a nice position to charge in, coming in from the sidelines. Garter goes down quick to the Blade Fury, but they do lose the Spirit Breaker for it. How will get the spin TP? Oh man, milliseconds between the potential telekinesis to interrupt the TP and the Blade Fury's ending, but we do see that he makes it back home safely, and it's just going to be a 1-for-1.
Yeah, Super was trying to catch somebody out over here too. He had a haste rune and still 6 seconds on the Void ulti. XZ could have maybe made something happen, but with that on cooldown, he's not going to be having it. And he's got a glove of haste right now for this Void. So is he going to go for the catch-up Midas, or is he going to go for a Maelstrom, I wonder?
I feel like you kind of have to look at the Maelstrom here. Their overall objective is to say we want to do AoE damage in the mid game. I mean, Ice Blast, Gyrocopter, Sonic Wave, and with the Void Maelstrom on top, they can really make those fights worthwhile. They can find those opportunities really nicely. But if he's more looking at just being able to be relevant this game long term, then Midas is still actually a better call. Oh, Fenrir taking quite a few Roche hits here for his ward, and he's not even going to be able to keep that ward. Garter takes it down immediately. So, but Super finds an opportunity thanks to Garter's D-warding, and 2v1 they will bring him down, forcing the Void back, and most likely taking another tier 1 tower. Now this is one thing to consider. Void has to weigh his options here, because he wants that mid-game damage coming in from the Maelstrom more than he wants the Midas's reliability, but in the end, he needs so many different things to fully come online here. BKB would be great against the Skywrath Mage Silence. Aghanims, as you mentioned, is very pivotal for their team fight. It just seems like he wants a bunch of items, and he's going to get none as he gets Silence locked in underneath that Mystic Flare, and he goes down quick. A nice jump away from the Ember Spirit. Still getting hit by the second call down strike, though. They both get hit by the Sonic Wave. Super keeps jumping. FY goes down. Super looks like he's going to go down after one more scream, but a nice Searing Chains keeps Shiki back. Fenrir taking some massive damage here, and Super will get the TP away. Soul Rip, though, healing up Fenrir. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to be enough. Aggressive getting slowed down, and
Super's coming from the back lines. He's going to get him.
Aggressive is all alone now, and he's going to try to go for the TP away. He will not succeed under the crits and that tombstone, and it's actually the Queen of Pain to go down as well. Super just doing so much work with these Searing Chains back to back every 10 seconds, throwing out successful Searing Chains that are either keeping somebody alive or netting a kill. And even the Skywrath Mage survived with 100 HP with that nice heal coming in from Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, they started off by that fight by picking off Gyrocopter, kind of cut their losses. It was a great scream onto 2. They almost got the Ember Spirit. If they had gotten the Ember Spirit, then he wouldn't have came back and killed the Queen of Pain. That was very unfortunate. As well as the AA was level 5. He just got his level 6 now. He went mid, had some me time for Garter, and now that they have this online, here they go. No! Oh! Got him!
That reaction, quick fingers from Super, dodges out of the Chronosphere. Of course, he had a Fire Remnant in reserve and is able to activate it before the Chronosphere locks him in time. So they won't be able to find that kill. Was pretty well set up with the Ice Blast, but the timing is a factor. And with that Void cast animation being so long on the Chronosphere, he just wasn't able to pin down the Ember Spirit. And like you said, they need reliable lockdown to go up against this hero. And if they can't rely on Void getting the Chrono off before the Fire Remnant comes out, I don't know what they can.
He's going to be picked off here, most likely, unless he gets a good charge out.
Yeah, he'll
try. The last right click, no. Oh my. Alright, this team's just unkillable.
Ice Blast?
I just
can't. Yeah, it does connect. FY will be sniped here. At least they'll be able to get that one. After all these kills have escaped them, I almost am happy that CDEC are able to at least lock one down, even if it is the support Spirit Breaker.
Yep, that was a pretty good pick off there. Nice snipe. And definitely need some high hopes after what's been happening to them. They just very unlucky timings, I would say, having their ultis down, AA ulti down, Gyro ulti down earlier. They were so close to getting those levels too, but still 9-5 now for VG at the end of a commanding lead. They haven't lost any of their towers right now and still applying the pressure here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, think of it. Just look at how far forward Super gets to farm thanks to this double damage rune he has bottled up, ready to fight at any point in time, and of course the Undying right behind him. They don't have the Tombstone. They laid that down to try to break the tree line and find the Queen of Pain when she was TPing away, but that'll be cooling down pretty shortly, and they're pretty confident here against this tier 2. I mean, the Ice Blast is down for 18 seconds, and it looks like it's going to be an uncontested tier 2 tower, which is huge for these carries to get that extra bounty of gold.
Yeah, and that's one of your towers for the Roshan too. I mean, VG's lineup's not the best at taking it, but they still have the Juggernaut, healing ward, sustainability. He's got Mask of Madness. Quelling Blade doesn't work on Roshan anymore, but still, he will be doing a lot of damage with his crits.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, you just create that space, you create that opportunity. You can always put the tombstone up on the cliff of Roshan so that they can't enter the pit easily, but you have to be wary. That Chronosphere, the Ice Blast, a lot of different things can make it more and more difficult to break through. So although I think that Vici Gaming have good tools to control the pit, I think CDEC will have the upper hand with all their ultimates. So like you said, that tier 2 proxy being down for CDEC might be the difference maker when that clash inevitably comes through. But for now, we're going to be just seeing Aggressive trying to find his next item. Drum, Treads, Magic Wand. This is not what he wants 17 minutes in the game. He wants at least the Yasha on top of that, and he's going to have to fall back and farm for that while the smoke dispels on his allies.
Well, they're going to be farming up this stack here from VG's. And I wonder what the next item is going to be from Juggernaut. I'd probably Sage. He's going to finish it. His Sage and Yasha here. And then after that, probably go for the, I guess it's still the standard build where you go Scotty. I mean, you really want to have as much tankability in this game as you can. You want to, if you do get hit by the Chrono, you want to make sure you can survive it, right? And then immediately pop your Blade Fury after or before it, and you should be fine.
Yeah, but I don't think surviving is going to be too much of an issue. Obviously, you talked about the fact that the Ice Blast inhibits the Soul Rip from doing its primary objective and keeping allies alive, but now that the Pipe of Insight comes out on Ice, as long as he's close to the Juggernaut here, they should be able to kind of weather the storm. The Sonic Wave and basic right-clicks are all that's going to be really striking true on to a target like Juggernaut inside that Chronosphere, thanks to that Pipe of Insight. And then, of course, you have to consider the fact that right now nobody is hitting for even like 100 right now. Everybody's
look
like
at Void right now, man. Look, XZ, he's like dirt poor. He's trying to scrounge up some pennies. I mean, he's jobless. This is so bad for him. He's got treads and gloves of haze. This is not looking good. And the best part about what you're talking about for the pipe finish for Ice here is he went for pipe instead of mech. This is definitely a pipe game over a mech. You instantly pop the pipe, you mitigate all the magic damage coming in from the AA blast. Here we go. They won't be, and then you also have the healing ward counting as your mechanism here.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. You can go for slow siege plays, you can go for Roche plays, and gradually heal yourself back up, because the AA is not going to be having an Ag Scepter for a very long time. If there was an Ags on the AA, I think you still need a little bit more oomph to your healing, but in this case, the Pipe is a perfect substitute. He's always going to get near maximum value from it in a team fight, thanks to all the magic damage coming in from CDEC, and actually some damage coming out of XE, he will get silenced, and that means with the Nether Strike and the Mystic Flare committed, they will be bringing him down. So very nice pickup there, getting their 10th kill. With the Roast, they're taking a free tier 2, and CDEC just have to be shaking. It's going to come down to pretty much one fight for them.
Pretty much, they're going to have to hit at least 4 heroes in the Chronosphere. And we've already seen one Chrono whiff because of the Ember Spirit. Nice plays so far from Super. Tau, he's unkillable. You kill him once, he still has Aegis. He's going to come back online. Healing Ward is level 2 now, so it was only level 1 before, now it becomes, well, oh, bag, no bag, mercy, servers, you're so good until now.
I'm a lucker. US East has a lot less connection problems with Perfect World than the West Side does, so while all the guys at the BTS house are like freaking out with their routing and whatnot, I'm just like, yeah, I see everything. So I guess that's good for the play-by-play side of it in particular.
Are you a Google Fiber person?
Oh, if only, dude. Man, I can
everybody wishes for that dream.
I can dream. But Rubik does get a nice little steal here. Blade Fury level 1 isn't ideal because it's obviously so much better when it's maxed out, but still getting that invulnerability might allow the Rubik to get in closer a little bit and find an opportunity to maybe get a right click on the healing ward or something that you normally wouldn't be able to. So I think that's actually pretty helpful, but it's not like the dream steal. You really want a tombstone or something like that here. And actually going to be a flanking Chronosphere coming in. There is a pipe, but there is no flame guard, so the Ice Blast is going to drop Super very low. And if they just get a couple more right clicks, they might bring him down. But first and foremost, we're going to see Aggressive and Garter dropping down. Garter, oh, he gets the cold feet on FY. He'll fall with him thanks to the Inner Shadows. Now back on Gyrocopter, getting back into it. Oh, Super so very low, but Aggressive lock in. It's going to be a dieback for Aggressive, the hard carry at 21 minutes into the game.
They
How
can't
will
even kill
run
the
Q
two.
down, and under the tombstone, Shiki will fall as well. It's a triple kill for How. It's a 5-man wipe, only the Void remaining. The Queen of Pain buying back, and they have no cooldowns. They have no ultimates. They're gonna just kind of right-click them essentially, and we'll see how well that works out with Ice 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 at their back. He's got plenty of Soul Rip to bring to bear, and Shiki just can't find the kill. They're actually fearless right now, going in with the Aegis, connecting with the Searing Chains, and bringing the Queen of Pain down for another dieback. Easy Aegis pop, and they'll go in for the racks here. Nothing to stop them. They're already calling it. 22 minutes in, it's GG. A 16,000 net worth advantage, a 12,000 experience advantage, and that's all she wrote for game number 1.
Yeah, that was the best fight they could really hope for. I mean, catching a 2-man there, getting the Ice Blast on top. The problem is when Gyrocopter bought back, he didn't have Flat Cannon, so his hero is pretty much useless. Obviously, his cooldown was on cooldown as well, so all he has is like a Rocket Barrage, and then they just run at him, bash him, Searing Change. I mean, Super was just on point with all his Searing